Yeah, guys, not sure what's going on. They're not letting me use my camera. It's so weird. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. Unless you guys are okay with seeing that screen and me just talking, maybe you guys could just shut your eyes. How about that? Whoever's watching, there's probably hey, but nobody else switched over. Oh goodness. Um, uh, Goodness. Let me see. What if I send them this link? Hold on. All right, Mark. Hold on for a second. I'm trying to see if I can. There's only one waiting. Uh, I'll still put it. Let's see. Okay. So, yeah. All right, Mark. I guess it's just you and maybe one other person. But hey, it is what it is. So, let's see. How much better could this get right now? Not much. So, I guess, guys, I'm sorry if you guys can. Obviously, you guys can hear me now. Mark has uh, let me know that we can. Mark, can you do one more time? Can you guys hear me? Now that I switched over and closed out all the other ones, it should be fine. This is so weird that the camera is not being shown. Um, but let's see how this goes. That works. Um, this is so awful. Goodness, this is all right. Cool, Mark. Thank you. Thank you for thank you for confirming. And let me see. So let's go ahead and get started then. So I'm sure many of you have heard that saying that actually comes from Jesus of Nazareth, which is it comes from what is it? It's Matthew 18:28 all the way to Matthew 18. Uh, uh, or wait, sorry. It's Matthew 19:28 to Matthew 19:30. Okay, uh, and basically what he states is, hold on for a second, please. Goodness, I'm nowhere near prepared. I don't even have my drink. Nothing. Goodness. Okay. Wow. This is the last time this is gonna happen, guys. I swear. As you've seen, some of you who I actually um, informed, I said to you guys that this is my last live feed. Well, it's the last live feed that I'm gonna be messed with, or we're gonna be messed with. Okay. So, aside from that, this is why I said that. But the saying, it comes from Matthew 19:28 through through 30. And he's basically talking about when his disciples asked him, um, how can they enter the kingdom of heaven? And goodness, goodness, goodness. I'm all over the place right now. And I'm very sorry. I apologize. But I promise you, this will get better in a few seconds once I gather myself, because I didn't get a chance to gather myself, because I was going crazy back and forth in different places of the house and this and that to see if something will work better than others, using a different laptop, using a different webcam, all kinds of things, and it's still not working. What I anyhow, so let's get back to the saying. Give me a few seconds, like 30 seconds, real quick. Actually, less. Let me take a deep breath. All right, let's start off with the Ouroboros. Okay, the Ouroboros first came from, as far as we know it in the West, recorded history is from Egyptians. It was Akhenaten or his father. I forgot which one it was. But the point is the Ouroboros is basically a snake, or in some cultures is the dragon, um, eating its own tail. Okay, and as you've seen on the description, it's basically stating several different things to different cultures. Overall, is the best way I can put it for you guys is, in case you don't understand it, because some of you do understand it, is basically infinity in the sense that time repeats itself. And it's not that it's history repeating itself, even though cycles of time do repeat themselves. And this is according to the Egyptians. According to the Egyptians and several others, even the Aztec and the Maya, time was not linear. Time is cyclical. Okay? And back to Matthew 19:28. I'm going to read it through 1928 through 1930. It states that, truly I say to you that you who have followed me in the regeneration, and regeneration could be translated as new heavens and new earth, is basically what Jesus of Nazareth was trying to say with generation. Okay, when the Son of Man will sit on his glorious throne, you also shall sit upon 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, now some of you know that a lot of books, whether they're holy or any type of book, they can have metaphors, allegories, parables, just like Jesus of Nazareth spoke in parables. Okay, so at least to me, in this understanding, to put it in not practical terms, I should say, the 12 tribes, let's just pretend right now that that is referring to the 12 zodiac signs. Okay, instead of the 12 tribes. So once again, truly I say to you that you who have followed me in the regeneration, again, new heavens and new earth, meaning the rebirth, when the Son of Man will sit on his glorious throne, you also shall sit upon the 12 zodiacs. You know, there's 12 of them, 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so right now, the zodiac, if you think about it, is a circle. Okay, in all reality, picture it as a circle. But what if it was the snake? What if it was Quetzalcoatl? What if it was the dragon eating his own tail? And what if Jesus of Nazareth was referring to that in an energetic form? Okay, when was Jesus of Nazareth here? In the age of Pisces, right? Piscean age. So if you think about it, where are we now? In the Aquarius. So we're back to the beginning, and in all reality. So the Maya, the reason why the Aztec calendar ends this year, or should I say, uh, 2012, um, is because the how can I put this, the great year basically just ended and it's restarting a new one. The great year lasts 25,692 years, somewhere around there. Okay, it's basically almost 26,000 years. Okay, so if you think about it, the zodiac as the dragon or a snake, it bit his own tail. Now it's cyclical. Now is regeneration. Now is we're starting all over again. The Hopis refer to it as this being the fifth world that we're going to enter. The Aztecs referred to it as the the fifth sun dying, or not necessarily dying, but yeah, that's the best way I can put it, dying. And then the next sun, the sixth sun, will have a rebirth, the regeneration. So back to Matthew 19:29, and everyone who has left houses or brothers or sisters or father or mother or children or farms for my name's sake will receive many times as much and will inherit internal eternal life. So that goes back to the Ouroboros, because that's basically what that's stating. When it came to the Renaissance period, uh, the alchemists, if you may, the people who were into esoteric knowledge, that was their main goal, was to basically become immortal. I guess in a metaphoric, energetic way. Obviously, you can't really become immortal in the physical sense. Eventually, this physical body ends. So, if we continue on to the last one, Matthew 19:30, and then it finishes off with, but many who are first will be last, and the last shall be first. Okay, so now, if we go to the one before that, what the one I started. So I started at Matthew 19:28. Let's go back to Matthew 19:27. Uh, and in all reality, what all this is stating is basically earthly ranks, earthly possessions, earthly understandings will not carry over. So in other words, like what he was trying to say was the self-sufficient money hungry people, they're not gonna be able to find the kingdom of heaven. Overall, is what most people are interpreting. But in all reality, Jesus, with his unconditional love, knowing universal laws, knows that everyone, even the Gentiles, even the the prostitutes, the politicians, they're going to transfer over to the new earth, to the new heaven. Okay, so no one gets left behind. But with this saying, okay, it goes to show you what consciousness is going to cross over. So the last being those who did sacrifices in the sense of letting go of everything, okay, uh, going against mothers' interpretations, going against brothers' interpretations, okay, letting go, disassociating. That doesn't mean you will stop loving your mother, father, sister, brother, whatever it may be. Not at all. That means that you're willing to unconditionally, lovingly disassociate away from them so that you can get closer to, in his name's sake, or God, source. And if you have to, you would have to separate from your family. But those who let go of everything, the riches, farms, all these things, there will be the last to on physical earth, and then they'll be the first in the new heavens in the flesh, not once they die. Okay, so back to the Ouroboros. I've been telling people for many years now, at least 11 years or so, that around these times, shortly after 2017, we need to start being, we need to start surrendering to our, I don't want to say inner voice, but the Holy Spirit, as some may call it, the Holy Ghost. It's not really a voice, it's just a knowing that happens inside. When you connect in a certain level, you don't have to close your eyes, but if you do, cool, you'll get to alpha a lot quicker, which then that's when you don't hear the voices, but you hear the inspiration. I mean, if you look at the word itself, inspiration, inspire, in spirit. So spirit is in you, and it's in a sense talking to you. But again, you don't hear a voice. You just hear possibly your own voice, meaning as a thought, as an idea. And let me refrain from that. Let me rephrase that. An idea is completely different than a thought. An idea does not necessarily belong to you. It's something that came from an external stimuli, and it comes from inspiration, from creativity. A thought is generated from your brain, okay, from your physical brain. So there is a big difference. Not only that, but Nikola Tesla, Leonardo da Vinci, many other people, they great minds at that. A lot of them are in how can I put this, coherence, that thought itself is actually a sense. Thought itself is the sixth sense. And Mark, since you're one of the only ones watching and interacting, brother, what's my favorite saying? The all is mind, the universe is mental. So, in layman's terms, that can be represented or interpreted as thought, right? Within thought, the universe exists. Within thought is the only way we can communicate with God in a sense here in the flesh, if you may. Because the all, meaning God or source to everything, that's why it's called the all. And just to let you know, I get this axiom from the Kabbalion. Kybalion, the Kabbalion. Okay, and one of the first opening statements that they disseminate, if you may, is the all is mind, the universe is mental. So the all, meaning source to everything, God, is mind. So the only way we can perceive God is what? Through our minds, meaning while we're in the flesh, in all reality. And let me remind you guys that everything I say, I'm just being technical. Okay? So some of these subjective terms, I am using it, but in a technical term. But I will try to stick with the objective I can't say they're facts, but because not even the Bible, I can honestly tell you that even the Bible is not facts in the sense that we did not write it, we did not experience it, but, and like I said, it's not facts because this has been rewritten. Okay, but with this in mind, everything is perfect divine timing, even the pain, even the confusion, even the dissonance. Once you transmute and transcend that, there goes the Ouroboros. There goes again, the first shall be last, the last shall be first. You can have this experience, this awakening over and over and over as many times as you want, still here in the flesh. And in a sense, your old self, your old way of thinking, your old way of interest in the known world can die, and you physically still survive and come up with a new understanding. But if you're a father or a mother, do you think your children are going to die or disappear if your old self dies and a new one is reborn? No, they're still going to be there. Okay, no matter what. Okay, another thing with this in mind about the technical. Think about your best friend. Okay, you can tell me all you want about your best friend, but your best friend to me does not exist. And in fact, your best friend to you does not exist in the now moment. Your best friend only exists in your heart and in your mind. Again, I'm just being technical here. Okay, so with this in mind, that goes to show you again the all is mind, meaning your best friend is the all, and it can be the actual all, your best friend. The all is mind, the universe is mental. So only your friend can only exist in your mind unless they're right there in the flesh in front of you, handing you a drink or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So again, technicality. So back to the Ouroboros. The Maya couldn't see beyond December 22nd because the solstice is the 21st of the year 2012. They couldn't see beyond that, even though they were able to see millions, yeah, millions of years before, things like that, due to the star alignments and all this. Now, why is it that they couldn't see beyond the? I don't know why I was going to say the fourth dimension. Um, wow, why did that come out? Interesting, because like the Hopi, they're letting us know that we're going into the fifth world. So we're, in a sense, technically, according to the legend, we're leaving the fourth world. And it's weird that right now I was going, well, I did say it unconsciously, um, meaning it came out, yeah, unconsciously before I can even think about it, that the Maya couldn't see beyond the fourth dimension. This is pretty interesting. This has changed so much all of a sudden. Wow. Goodness, and I'm getting an insane amount of downloads right now. Thank you guys, because you guys are amplifying this for me. Wow. Okay, let's get back to the all is mind and the universe is mental so I can kind of, I don't want to say control, but take a hold of what is going on inside. Whoa. Hold on. Goodness, I wish the camera was showing so you guys could see my, my confusion and dissonance. So, so the Maya couldn't see beyond the, there it goes again. I wanted to say it. Wow. Okay. The Maya couldn't see beyond the year 2012. According to the Maya, they knew that the world, how can I put this? The, again, I'm being technical, that the planet was not going to end, be destroyed, and therefore all life ends. No. They just somehow, some way knew it will continue somehow, some way, but the world is not the planet. The world as we know it, the all is mind, the universe is mental, meaning what we interpret, what we, perception is projection. So the world as we know it will not exist, it will not continue. It will be something else. Back to the first shall be last, the last shall be first. Back to the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. The head can be considered as the end, the last, and it's eating its tail, the beginning, or vice versa, however you want to interpret it as. But the point is it continues, the cyclical. So again, according to the Egyptians and other old cultures, time has never been linear, never. And this is why some cultures, in one shape or form, say that history repeats itself, and it's not necessary that everything to the T, interesting, to the T, it doesn't repeat itself, but in a metaphoric way, it does. So, for instance, one way I can be technical and practical about us is we all go through the same exact lessons, whether we're rich or poor, disabled or not, young or old, doesn't matter. But according to the stimuli we expose ourselves to and our mother exposes us to as we're growing up, things like that, we're going to get the lessons in different times. The lessons can be considered the zodiac signs. How many are there? 12. Jesus was the 13th warrior, but there was 12 disciples, right? And like I was saying about the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 tribes can technically be, you erase Israel and it's just 12 tribes. Well, what if that's a metaphor? What if that's an allegory? What if that's a parable, like how he liked to talk? So if it's not 12 physical tribes, what if each tribe is a zodiac sign? Okay, so let's go back so I can give you the technical wording again. Truly, I say to you that you who have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man will sit on his glorious throne, you also shall sit upon 12 tribes. So when you let go of everything, and especially in these times, meaning the connection to it, the connection to that which is not et- eternal. It doesn't last forever, which is everything, even your children. Again, I'm not saying disown your children. No, please don't. Okay. But I'm saying have faith not only in yourself, if you're a woman, have faith in yourself, and if hopefully you have a husband, meaning if you have a child, and have faith in your husband's ability, meaning the way you guys raised your child. Not only that, have faith in God, have faith in nature, in the natural laws. I was going to say nature, but not really. It should be more of the natural laws, because the natural laws in a sense is what influences nature, if you may. And again, the zodiac influences nature. Why? Because the zodiac, each sign lasts, what is it, 5,400 some years or so, like that. Okay, and again, 12 of them. I'm getting a download. Sorry, hold on. It's actually 3,000. Oh man, I forgot the numbers right now. Can't think. Oh, another thing. I want, and this is not an excuse. Okay, I've only slept 1 hour in the past about nearly 48 hours. Last night I went to bed around what was it, 3 in the morning, and for some reason I got up at 4:32. This is why I wanted to come on live at 4:32, because I took it as a sign. And I got up and I drank some water and went to use the restroom, and I was like, all right, if I'm ready to go. And I was like, wait a minute, what time it is? What time is it? And I look outside, it's still dark, and I look at the time, it's like, whoa. So for some reason, I'm still going, sacrificing my health in a sense to help disseminate this information that is just coming last minute, all of a sudden on December 12th. I mean, the night before I was creating that crazy video about the worldwide meditation. The next day, I found a friend who uh, I hadn't talked to for a while. I still haven't talked to her yet, but I found out that she just released a second version of her book, and I started to create this advertisement for her that shows her book and motion and animation and things like that, and showing that she technically has 5-star ratings on Amazon from several people already. All of them are 5 stars. So, anyways, I got done with creating the scenes for that, and I went to sleep, and all of a sudden I woke up, and here I am, still fully awake, everything. So back to the, and again, that's not an excuse, but please bear with me. And then not only that, but you guys seen, well, not seen, you guys probably didn't see, but I was having all kinds of issues. Not me, it's the way I'm being censored. I mean, it's really, I mean, look what's happening right now. I can't put my camera on. Everything else works, but I can't put it. I'll try it again. I'm actually on my page right now on the my server, the one that yeah, it's not gonna happen. Anyways, so where was I? So Ouroboros, the first shall be last, the last shall be first. Um, so the Maya couldn't see beyond 2012. So when I was growing up, I stumbled across a man who was older than me. He was at least double my age. And I was always very mature growing up. So I always had older friends. And for some odd weird reason, my older friends would come to me for advice. I don't understand why, but it would happen. I don't remember exactly the things I would say, but I remember speaking to this man who was literally from Maya descent. He came from Mexico, and I just met him through another friend who, when he was younger, came from Mexico, and he was older than me, and he introduced me to this man. And I was the only one out of the whole group, and I was the youngest one in a weird way, that would talk to this man because no one else could understand him. I couldn't fully understand him, but I would listen to him because I was intrigued about the things he would say about my culture and other cultures. Okay, and every single time we would depart from talking and stuff like that, he would always say, "Jesus." That is my name. In case some of you are watching that don't know my first name, my name is Jesus. It really is. But he would say, Jesús, si llegamos, he said, Jesús, acuérdate. So he would say, Jesus, remember this. Si llegamos, no pasamos. Si pasamos, no llegamos. Which translates to, if we get there, we won't pass. If we pass, we won't get there. So if you think about that wording, it's already an Enneagram. It's already an Ouroboros. It starts all over again. Oh, goodness, I wish you could see the camera because there's different things I had set up to give you an understanding visually. I had Maya calendar and a moon and all these things to represent different things anyhow. So with that in mind, think about that. So since about the age of 15, every single day without fail, because for one, I will look at the stars for one, and from that, that saying will come up. Whether when I was by myself looking at Orion, I will always console or commune with Orion. That was technically my father, because my physical father wasn't around, unfortunately. He's still alive. I still speak with him, but for some reason, uh, our soul connections did not allow us to physically be next to each other nearly my entire life. Okay, but this is why I adopted Orion as my father. And I wouldn't hear a voice back. I would ask it questions as I was waiting for my mother to come back home from work, because single mother had to work two different jobs. Would get home around 2 in the morning from coming back in a bus sometimes, or things like that. So, anyways, I would sit there waiting for her after I cooked a meal for her and everything. It was like I was her father in a weird way. But I would ask Orion questions. I would get these epiphanies, this what you would call downloads, but I didn't know there were downloads back then. I just kind of just got this knowing. I don't know. But anyways, so I would think about that saying, if we get there, we won't pass. If we pass, we won't get there. So I barely figured it out back in 2017. And lo and behold, 2017 is when the big shift started to happen on September 23rd. And what I mean by this is, on that date, I have many videos to prove it. Many of them are physically deleted from the web, but I have them in my possession, of many disasters at a high frequency, at a high degree, I should say, with frequency in the sense that it will happen so often, so over. And ever since then, especially in India and Indonesia, they have been getting it really bad for some reason. Inundations, earthquakes, and landslides. And then on the Indonesia side, since they have a lot of volcanoes, they're in the ring of fire, a lot of volcanic activity. And it's really bad right now as we speak. Please research it real quick. Not right now, but I'm saying look in YouTube. And again, your algorithms might not let you get to it quickly. So don't look at the first page, go to the end, things like that. But look up Indonesia flooding or Indonesia volcanic activity. And eventually you're going to find a lot of videos that are happening right now that we're not being told about. And Indonesia, of all those little islands and all those things, is being decimated. It's been underground, not only of water, but underground of mud, underground of pumice. I swear to you guys, this is really happening right now at a crazy high rate right now. And there's like a 6 months worth of rain not every single damn day, but at least once a week, ever since 2017. Obviously, not at the entire islands of Indonesia, but every now and then here and there. But this is a high rate that has never happened before. And since then, it has been amplifying insanely, which is reflecting what is happening in the galaxy, well, solar system, galaxy, and universe. It's an entire thing, something new that has never ever happened in the trillions of years. I forgot how long. Supposedly, I think it's 13.8 trillion or something like that, or billion years. I forgot what it was, but that supposedly the universe has been around. Uh, we're finally reaching a brand new cycle completely that no one, not the Maya, no one have ever known about. This is why the Maya couldn't see beyond 2012. Okay? And not only that, look at the Maya calendar. What is it? Circles, cycles. Okay? What did Atlantis, supposedly what they tell us, what did Atlantis look like? They had circles. So the circles everywhere. And I've been telling people that from 2017, please let the donuts. I know that sounds funny. Now I'm not saying like a donut that you can eat, just something that looks like a donut, meaning like a inner tube or something like that, right? Circles, spheres, anything that is circle like that. Halos, meaning a logo that you haven't, you get a thought all of a sudden, you get an epiphany, and you're like, what the? There's no way it's yours, but you're like, wow, that's an amazing little concept I just thought about. And then you look over and there's a halo over a logo of an advertisement on the billboard. That's an epiphany to let a synchronicity to let you know, yes, you're right with that idea you just had, which is not your thought, but we gave it to you. And then from there you just keep following the circles, the donuts, whatever it may be, anything that's shaped like that. Now, why am I saying this? Is because right now we're dead center of the huge, humongous photon belt. And this is where it gets, we're going to add a little bit of science that is nowhere near out there in the mainstream. That, yes, I made it up. But, yes, Mark, yeah, like the half truth, exactly. The half truth of the Kabbalion speaks of. In other words, that's letting you know that there is no duality. It is only binary. So there is no differentiation from hate opposed to love. It's the same energy. It's just different variants. It's different opposite ends of the degree of it. It's the same thing as cold and hot. What may be cold to me may not be cold to you just yet. Things like that. What There's no east or west in our reality. It's just a perception, is what we're trying to say, is what the Kabbalion is trying to say. That there is no dark, there is no light, there is no right, there is no wrong, there is no bad, there is no good. Only interpretation of. Again, si pasamos, no llegamos. Si llegamos, no pasamos. If we get there, we won't pass. If we pass, we won't get there. Back to that. So it dawned on me, 2017, when I was facing these things, these anomalies, because I was already studying space weather and seismic activity transference and all these things since about 2011, 2010 or so. And by then I was already getting very in tune with it. And I was starting to see these patterns, these frequencies happening. And so that's when I started to know that everything is cyclical. There's no linear time anymore, and especially not in my consciousness. In fact, hopefully you guys start to perceive it this way. It's not even cyclical anymore. It's actually it's a blend between cyclical and Andrew, my brother. Yes, finally. Sorry, guys. There was no way I can let everybody know how to transfer over and migrate over to here with all these issues I was having. There's probably like 7 or 8 different live feeds right now, not going, but I'm saying that came on. But anyways, where was I? So thank you for joining us, Andrew. So the cyclical, yeah. So if you think about it, the best way I can put it is Western philosophy, Westerners, we're big on linear time, which is an illusion, and it always has been. There is no linear time. To the most of the Eastern philosophies, and Eastern philosophies to me is anything classical, anything before 1492, if you catch my drift. So because also Gregorian calendar, they are fooling us. We'll get back to that in a bit if I can remember about the calendars, okay? Because we are talking overall about the Maya calendar right now. So yes, I did. Aha, see, there you go. So please, we'll talk about the time, about the, so we're talking about it now, but I'm saying, so I hope you guys can. Well, it's not that I hope you can. Let me see. How can I word this? I hope you can find it in your heart to be fearless enough to surrender to the notion that we're going to blend linear time and cyclical time. So how, if you can picture that, what's going to happen? Meaning in that metaphor. Yeah, no, Nora. Yeah, and I noticed her. She was on the other one, and I think she said she kind of gave up on it, and she said she'll listen to it. When she has a chance, she'll know that I put it on and stuff. But anyways, so if you mix linear time and cyclical time, so line and then circle, put together. If you're a little kid, what are you going to perceive just in just that allegory? It's a spiral. Okay, now get this. What if the Merkaba, that's where that's a 0 point, meaning neutrality. Anything below any sense can be considered hell. Anything above can be considered heaven within our chakras. We have 7 heavens, three lower, three upper. In all reality, some consider 7 lower, 7 upper. But once you ascend into the fourth dimension, how can I put this? Fourth dimension perceptionality, which is you living out of the functioning out of service to the heart. That's 0 point. That's where the ether kind of generates. And then from that point, think about this. From above the solar plex, a little bit above the solar plexus is where the Merkaba is, where the Sacred Heart is. Once you are lived in there long enough, perceived through the heart, where everything is one, or at least is us, not me, me, me. It's beyond we. It's more of us. From that point on, the spiral starts little, and then it goes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger upward. From that point as well, not the upward, but from that point still, from the fourth dimension, from the Sacred Heart, from the Merkaba, there's a spiral that starts and it goes downward. So now we can go down and up because there is no duality, and therefore there is no differentiating between that because now it's binary. Okay, so with this in mind, the Maya could only see up to that fourth dimension, but it's a huge amount of time though. What's under it, meaning millions and years that they were able to see behind because of the star alignments and all these things, planet alignments. But if you think about it, if one of us receives an upgrade, we all receive it exactly. We all get the same lessons at the same time. We just interpret differently because of our stimuli, because of our beliefs. And remember that beliefs is not knowing. Beliefs is actually postponing your ascension, because with belief, yeah, it builds great hope. But hope is weak because hope is postponing the knowing. Hope is weak. Replace hope with faith. Okay, don't hope that this is going to happen, that's going to happen. No, have faith that it is going to happen. The all is mind, the universe is mental. So, 0 point being right now, meaning the donut, the photon belt. I have an immense amount of information that shows that we go around and it takes nearly 20, almost 26,000 years to go around our central sun. Our central sun is called Alcyon, Alcyone. But that almost looks like it almost looks like two words. Actually 3 words. All, C, one. Alcyon. Alcyon. And get this. The actual central sun that we revolve around, that has several planets as well. Maya. Now, some of you may know that to the Hindu or to Eastern philosophy, Maya represents illusion. Okay, so back to the Ouroboros, back to the 12 tribes. So right now, we have 9 days, because in 9 days it'll be the 22nd. Okay, so we have 9 days right now to solidify our understanding, our reflection, our mirrors in front of us, inside of us, around us, so that once we reach December 21st and then we wake up the next day, whatever is in your heart and mind, just like, what is it? Jeremiah 19:10, I think it is. Who knows better than I what's in your heart and mind? No one. And that is what I'm going to reciprocate. I am paraphrasing because there's too many things. Faith, yes. Knowing, yes. Exactly. So it's saying that according to what's truly in your heart and what's truly in your mind, meaning intention and all reality is what it's referencing. Most people don't see it that way, but that's what it's referencing. That's what you're going to perceive. That's what God is going to reciprocate with. Again, Jeremiah 17:10. Jeremiah 17:10 is what it is. But anyways, so what I'm trying to say is, how can I put this? Just like I started, I'm gonna say it all over again. Okay, the Matthew 19:28. Truly I say to you that you who have followed me in regeneration, meaning after the Sacred Heart, after 2012, after the photon belt, after Ouroboros starts all over again, however you want to see it as. When the Son of Man will sit on his glorious throne, you also shall sit upon 12 tribes. So again, the zodiac restarts again. And then Matthew 19:29 says, and everyone who has left houses or brothers or sisters or father or mother or children or farms for my name's sake will receive many times as much and will inherit eternal life. And then back to Matthew 19:30. But many who are first will be last, and last shall be first. Now, the awakened ones, according to my interpretation, the awakened ones, the ones that can see beyond the veil, the ones that is more of us, not me, we're the last ones. Because if you think about it, those of you who kind of who um, uh, how can I put this? Who match that letting go-ness, if you may, meaning the one that is let's go, father, mother, and all these things. We're the ones that are by ourselves for the most part. Mr. Raven, if they choose to be a slave, exactly, that's their own choice, exactly, and that's true unconditional love. It's not like they've never been told. Exactly. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Raven. So, Andrew, you already know, but I'm going to say it's for Mr. Raven as well. Mark, you obviously know already. And there's one more, not sure who, but it's okay. For some reason, they're not letting me put the camera on. But thankfully, at least what you see there, like the coronavirus, what are you grateful for? At least that's going nice and smooth with no problems. And hopefully, my voice is not being all broken up and scratchy, but it seems like they're not, because you would have mentioned it already. It's glad you're here, brother. Oh yes. Um, so where was I? Okay, so especially those that are here right now, we're technically considered to be, in my perception, we're the last ones in that formula. So we're the last ones that were willing to let go of everything, and if you want to put it this way, Source's name, the unconditional love of us trying to be one with everything, because that's being one with God. Yeah, it was really hell. Wow, you barely got a notification? Damn. Goodness. Well, thank you for pointing that out. There has been a lot of stuff in truth lately. Yeah. Yeah. So this is why I was also trying to be tricky in a weird way to the algorithms, but this they still were able to kind of get us. But right now, hey, with your energies, we found a loophole, and there, look at that. No pun intended. Loophole. Ouroboros. Back to the loop. So, so now that we're the last ones, meaning the last ones who truly let go of everything, in a sense, the disassociation of the old world, so that we can regenerate or rebirth into a new understanding, just like we were saying earlier about the Kabbalion. There is no wrong, there is no right, there is no bad, there is no good. There is no light, there is no darkness. There's only interpretation of, especially when you can transcend beyond duality. Once duality is over, there's no more me, 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 because there's no more clashing. Now we must work together because it's us, 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 because now it's binary. It's me and another, me and others. Then Mark mentioned this earlier or yesterday, I can't remember. I think it was yesterday. That yeah, it was just yeah, yesterday. Where there are two, and it's in Matthew as well. Matthew 18:23, I think it is. Where there are two or three or more gathered in my name, there I am amongst them. It's not just technically Jesus of Nazareth that is going to be there in his name. It's anything, anything. So think about this. Within one human being, what do we have? Masculine, feminine, but we also have inner child, or subconscious, conscious, and unconscious. When you can consciously work together with your subconscious mind so that it guides the unconscious, so that you can consciously control all of it, guess what? There it is. The all is mind, the universe is mental. It's the same saying of where there are two or three or more. So my masculine, my feminine, I'm balanced now, and now I have the security to, in a sense, play or let my inner child out. Now within that Trinity within me already, uh, I am godly like. Jesus is with me because the saying says that. Was it really this morning? See, that's what I'm saying. Time dilation. We can't really tell anymore. And that's beautiful. All good. Physical. Yeah, so let me read that. All good. Those who cling to life, physical lose their lives, spiritual, yes. Self identity is manipulation of entrapment. Exactly. Exactly. And I'm sorry if there's any Jehovah's Witnesses watching. It's nothing against you. It's just I have a huge issue. Not with your religion. Not trust me. I went to Kingdom Halls many times. Many of my family members are Jehovah's Witnesses, but um, uh, uh, when you name something, when you give it a label, I'm sorry, guys. I'm very sorry, but you take its power away. You really do. Now you're limiting it because now it's a limitation to a name. And there's no way you can know it because now it's duality, um, which takes us back to the Kabbalion. There is no right, there is no wrong. Love is the same energy as hate. It's just different, extreme opposite ends of it. Just like light and dark is the same energy. It's just different interpretation of it. One is more luminescent than the other. And in our reality, to some, the dark, and I don't mean evil, I just mean dark, may be more luminescent than the actual light, because when you close your eyes or when you're in the dark, your pituitary gland starts to activate, and then it influences the pineal gland, which then what? You're inspired. You have an insane, insane amount of creativity. Look at those words. An insane amount of creativity, and it's deliciously empowering to us. When you let go of duality, there is no more competition. So back to the Ouroboros, back to the photon belt. Like I was saying, especially from this point on, please allow yourselves to be guided by circles, halos, donuts, whatever it may be. Okay, and obviously, only if it resonates. especially you who are listening here right now that I can see interacting. You guys will know. You guys are very wise men, and that's weird that it's all men, and all of you are actually in touch with your feminine side. What is it? Three people? Yeah. So the other two who are watching, if you're men, hey man, get with one of us to help you crown your queen that's inside of you. I'm talking to you men. Crown your queen who's inside of you, meaning your feminine side. And if it happens to be two women watching, other than the three men that are interacting, crown your king within you. And then, just like Mark was saying, where there you go. That's what a little bit before you came in, Mr. Raven. I was that was the first thing I mentioned. I was like, allow yourselves to be guided by the donuts. And I was like, wait a minute, let me rephrase that. It's not necessarily the donuts that we. And I know you know that, Mr. Raven, but I'm just clarifying for others. It's not donuts that we eat. Donuts, for instance, like a tire. That's a donut shape. The photon belt, that's a donut shape. If there's a logo that some young man makes with the photon belt, it's going to look like a donut. And you have an epiphany and you see that logo. That goes to show you synchronicity. You're right about your epiphany, about your download, about your integration of that download and such. So let me get to the comments real quick. Just this past week, I was asked to surrender everything. Yes, every problem, concern, object, etc. And I did. It's time. Yes, but that's the thing. Thank you. I'm glad I read this. Okay, time. God, source, creator first. Yes, that's the thing. Now, so what the Maya were trying to tell us that they couldn't see beyond 2012. Again, si llegamos, no pasamos. Si pasamos, no llegamos. If we get there, we won't pass. If we pass, we won't get there. Again, that's an enneagram. That's a circle. That's a loop already. The Ouroboros. Uh, uh, after 2012 is when time quite literally ceases to exist. So in other words, if we cannot get that, because no matter what, everybody's passing through. Everyone. But like that Maya elder told me, if we get there, we won't pass. If we pass, we won't get there. So that means that if we get there, meaning if we kind of survive the havoc that is supposed to happen in these times, and I don't mean man-made, I mean beyond man-made, natural stuff, from the alignments shifting, but it's because it's a rebirth, it's a regeneration. If we survive that, we won't pass. But what does that mean? In all reality, it means that we won't pass into what we think we may get to, meaning like a heaven that is told about in the book. Not only that, but if we pass, we won't get there. We won't get to that heaven that we're promised, because there is none. What it is what's in our hearts. So after December 21st, so on the 22nd, this is what I'm saying, 9 days from now, 9 is the number of completion. What's in your heart and mind, just like Jeremiah 17:10 states, that's what you're going to start perceiving, because vision is weak, perception is strong. So what's inside, as above, so below, as inside, so outside, what you perceive will be projected out. So everybody's coming along, but those that did not do the work, they're not going to know what to do with the telepathy. They're going to think that their uncle is fucking the devil or a demon because they can hear his voice now. But it's not even that you can hear a voice, meaning it's not that you'll be able to hear the voice, but you'll think of something and then your uncle will say it, and then what the fuck? People will just start going crazy and crazy and crazier when they don't understand their electromagnetism. So if you can erase the known world, what you know already, again, back to Matthew 19:28, actually the 29. And everyone who has left houses or brothers or sisters or father, meaning disassociate. It doesn't mean you're not going to love them. It doesn't mean you're going to disown them. It doesn't mean you're not going to take care of them anymore. It's just, oh, well, just like Mr. Raven said, let them be. Oh, it's their karma. It really is. So if you can truly see that even to your own child, have faith that even if they're 6 years old, that their little soul, which is not technically little, it's actually an old soul, especially nowadays. All the kids nowadays, they're all old souls. They chose this exactly to the T. And not only that, but they're going to know what to do once they shift. And if you don't have that faith, when you get over, you're going to be on that, again, I'm being metaphoric, you're going to be on that plane that's crashing down, and you're going to be so concerned with trying to get their mask on first, and then both of you are going to die before the plane even crashes. Um, let's see the excellent advice. So let's see. Let's pass the week. Yes, this is my whole balance of dark and light. It's important, not referring to evil and good, etc. Thank you, Andrew, for that one. And then Mr. Raven about the donuts. That was funny. Yes, Andrew, that's the December energy coming. Yep. Yeah, man. Thank you for affirming that, Andrew, that you love your feminine side, and it is a wonderful thing, because without men, without you crowning your queen, meaning your feminine side, you will never have the proper vision, the proper inner or outer vision for that matter, because you won't have intuition. All you will have is instinct. And for a man to have instinct only, that's when the ego takes over all the time. And we can't eliminate the ego. Ego is like a grandfather. It will allow us. It will say, "Hey, do you want to try this ice cream?" Or you want to, if you're like 16 or well, maybe 11 or 12, your grandfather might say, "Hey, you want to try this beer?" You don't have to, but see what I'm saying? You decide. So that's how ego is. And eventually, when you learn to 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 relinquish duality, the ego now becomes binary. Then you start to work with the ego, then you tame the ego, then you have a relationship, an intimate relationship with your own ego, which then you start to, obviously when you start to become more experienced, less naive, more wise, you start to learn how to tame your ego so that it functions out of service to the heart, and it's not just picking up stimuli and tempting you to see where we can go with this. When you stop it from doing that, it's going to be like you're working together, okay? And then when that happens, ego is actually the vine, because ego is our instinct, is what helps us survive. But because of the programming, the system, things like that, our egos, or in other words, I'm not saying that the ego is in the subconscious, but our subconscious mind and our unconscious minds get tricked with things you can't even see, but that are in plain sight. For instance, when you're watching a movie, you may not know this, but behind your favorite character, there's a Coca-Cola bottle. Not only that, seconds later, when the scene changes, they flash a literal Coca-Cola logo for less than a millisecond, which the physical human eye cannot pick up on, but the pineal gland does pick up on it. The subconscious mind records every little thing, even if you don't physically notice it. And then what? Then the unconscious kind of taps into that subconscious feed that you just got, and then you consciously start doing it without you consciously knowing that you're doing it. As odd as that may sound. So donuts. Let's see what we're donuts. Spiral. Yep. I wonder if you heard that part where I was saying about that, Mr. Raven, about how the heart, once you work out of the sacred heart, you go from you must ascend from the bottom. You have to start at the root, because you have to get rid of the trauma, not only that we physically have gone through as men or women, but also what our lineage. Because once you clear that trauma, your lineage gets cleared as well, and everyone else. Because like Mark said, if one of us get a download, we all get that download. If Ho'oponopono, if I clear within me, even if it's not my issue, but if I'm being bothered by my uh, uh, damn, I don't even have a girlfriend. I was gonna say with my girlfriend. I'll just say it. If I have an issue with my girlfriend, I can't force her to change. That's just going to create more havoc. But if I change it within me, if I change my perception, if I change the way I look at things, the things that I look at will inevitably change. And just recently I got that. It was amazing how it happened. But anyways, what was I going with that? It was Mr. Raven, upward spiral. Oh yeah. Ho'oponopono, if you change it within yourself, it's going to change your surroundings, the energy around you, because again, vision is weak. perception is stronger. What's inside will be projected out, as above, so below, as inside, so outside. It takes one to know one. If you judge something or someone, it's because you know it, whether you know it or not. Meaning, it might not be because you're that way. It might not be because it's in you, no, but it might be that it is in you because of a shadow self from pops or from moms that you don't even know that you get, but your girlfriend notices it, and it ticks her off, but you don't even know that you do a certain little thing that your mother used to do a lot, and it just bothers her or whatever, and she doesn't even know that it bothers her. But anyways, aside from that, so shadow selves, yeah, so it might not even be yours, but you know it so well because you've been exposed to it because of your father or your mother, and this is why you know it. This is why you can judge it. So if you're about to judge somebody about something, it's higher self letting you know, Ouroboros, the regeneration, letting you know that, hey, it's in you. You need to fix it in you. Ho'oponopono, once you fix it in you, everything else gets fixed as well. Let's go back to the comments. Yeah, man, I adore Spiral. So let me finish reading Mr. Raven's comment, which Mark Moon uh, praised them on. So spiral up to reconnect to next upward spiral. Yes, next to the next heaven, and so forth and so on. Technically, physically within us, chakras, but also energetically, metaphorically, we have more than seven chakras. We technically, well, energetically wise, we have 13 that we can utilize overall. There's seven in us, and I'm referring to the alignment wise, the chord wise, because technically, according to Sadhguru, which is one of my favorite wisest men alive, there's actually 114 different chakras in our bodies. And yeah, I haven't been able to map every single one of them, but I have been able to map way beyond 33. Okay, because each finger, each digit, that's a chakra. The palm itself is a chakra. There's many of them. So anyway, so there's this seven ones, then there's three above, there's two below, so seven, and then three above and two below, that's 12. But then that 12 become one, and there's 13 altogether. Just like Jesus of Nazareth is the 13th warrior of what? 12 disciples. Alcyon is Jesus. The zodiac signs that take 3,200 and some so years are the disciples, are the 12 tribes. So the zodiac is the Ouroboros. It's not necessarily the full-time belt. Let me get back to the like energy of the body. Oh goodness, I didn't finish that. From edges looks circular. From outside is to, yes. Okay, thank you. No wonder. Yeah, that's great information, Mr. Raven. Let me read it one more time. Spiral up to reconnect to next upward spiral. From edges looks circular. Yes, exactly. So you weren't even here when I said that. I said something very similar to that. From outside is toroidal. Yes, toroidal. Goodness. Thank you, Mr. Raven. Like energy of the body, galaxy, universes. Yes, so let's get to that toroidal. Get this. For those of you who of making pancakes or likes to do omelets, what do you have to do inside that bowl or container? You have to go up and down in what? A circular motion, right? So no matter if it's an oval, but it's still circle towards you, perpendicular to the ground. But when you look at the bowl, next time you do that, look at the bowl and you're going to see a literal spiral, sorry, not even a spiral. It will be a galaxy. Okay? So what does that tell you? That even though our solar system, we're orbiting around the sun, what is making us orbit? It's not the magnetism of the sun. It's a binary of the sun that's going perpendicular to our solar system, which is what's making us spin around that way. Just like the physics are showing us when we mix something in a bowl. We're going up and down, forward or backwards, away from us or towards us, but on the bowl that is actually uh, uh, perpendicular parallel to the ground, that when you look at that ball, you're going to see that there's a spiral there. So what I'm trying to say is our binary is here. This is why we've been having an insane amount of spraying, because we don't see it every single day of the year, because it's in a weird elliptical that's more oval-like. So it takes a while for it to get back, but it doesn't go very far in these times. So very soon we're going to start seeing purple skies, especially after, not instantly after December 22nd, but like I said, we all transfer over. And if you're gauging your judgments, if you're gauging your calculations, your perceptions with the old world, guess what? You brought the old world inside of you to the new world. And therefore, the new world is never going to function properly to you. And in the new world, the fifth dimension, the fifth world, like the Hopis tell us, everything is manifested almost quite instantly. Okay, so if you're perceiving with the old knowledge, well, guess what? You're going to be like, what the fuck, Jesus? What's up, Messiah? You said that this was going to happen and this and this. Well, yeah, your perception is not going to be able to pick it up because you're still processing from the old self. And the new self is going to die a lot quicker in this new world because the energetics cannot be sustained by the old type of bodies. This is why we've been told to do so many things with our bodies, as far as detoxification, intermittent fasting, sun gazing, sunbathing, all these things. That brings me back now to the Essenes, which is what Jesus of Nazareth studied under, according to many great minds. Dolores Cannon, who was a psychic, Alan Watts, also stated that. Greg Braden did a lot of study on that, and I trust fully Greg Braden's work. Okay, and in the scenes, they had five elements, and it's not the ones that we truly. There's one overall that really most people don't know, that they think it's fire or something like that. And yeah, it is an element, but I'm saying the Essenes got, in a sense, the way they can be breatharians. It doesn't mean that they never, ever, 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 ever ate, but they did go beyond what the human limitations were with not eating much, things like that, or in other words, intermittent fasting. But how did they get away with it? Like me, I get away with not eating much, not sleeping much, and yet I'm still very muscular, which is an impossibility in the known world. But I'm not part of the known world, never have been, technically. So, the five elements are air. Okay, there's molecules inside the air that can literally, in a sense, give you nutrition. It's not necessarily nutrition, but it will supplement, basically. Not only that, and plus, in the air there's CO2. There's all these things that technically we breathe out CO2, and it's not that we need CO2, but without CO2 we can't do certain interactions within and without, and there's many misconstrued concepts that we were lied about. But anyways, so the air. Then we have light, as in sunlight. Obviously, most people know about that. Yeah, sun gazing. Yeah, sunbathing. Yeah, sunny D. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. But in case you guys didn't know, when you sun gaze, obviously don't do it at 12 noon. That's too bright. It's going to burn your eyes, your retinas, and all that. But at about 33 degrees to 45 degrees, 45 degrees the most, meaning that will be around 9:30 the latest in the morning. Any later is too bright, it's too high, and it might not be good. But when you sun gaze, the sunlight that has light codes, aside from the light codes, let's forget about that for a little bit. Let's just be scientific, technical. The actual light itself, that is the rays that are hitting your retina, somehow, some way, the retina converts that light into food, into energy. It's weird how it works. And then from there, it goes to, what is it? Not the thalamus, but the hippocampus, I think it is, and the hippocampus D. Why did it say the vitamin D? So that we can get, in a sense, supplementation naturally, because our body produces it in a certain way, but we can amplify it if we do these things that the Essenes were showing us that Jesus of Nazareth knew. So air, light. What's next? Sunlight. What's next? Dirt, earth, I should say, earth. Because earth could be clay, it could be dirt, which is completely a little bit different. It can be different minerals from the earth, from salt, things like that, mainly salt. Like the alchemists, one of the main things was salt. Believe it or not, our bodies are salt. So the next thing was what was it? Mercury, and then, anyways, sulfur. Okay, was the soul. Mercury is the spirit. Salt is the body. Anyhow, Trinity. Where the fuck did that just come from? Sorry, I used that bad word, but that was amazing. Uh, maybe Mr. Raven sent it to me. I don't know, but that was amazing what just happened. Anyways, where was I? So, um, Earth. Why do you think they tell us to ground? That's one thing. Duh, right? Yeah. But most people really don't know that if you do it barefoot, what do they say about dirty children? A dirty child is less susceptible to getting sick because that dirtiness, it made them fight little by little throughout the time that they're playing with their bare feet on the ground, and then the minerals are going in and stuff like that, so they build an immunity, and this is why they can't get sick as much as a very, 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 very clean child that is coddled, that is given everything, that doesn't even is not even allowed to process. Well, guess what? They're the first ones. They're gonna not really be the last. So, anyways, where was I? So then, after the earth, now we have water. Some of you might say, "Duh, we can't live no more than 3 days without water, drinking water." Yeah, but haven't you heard that there's actually some that have gone more than 3 days without water? Well, we can get some kind of accumulation from air of condensation. But what the water they're referring to, guess what? It doesn't mean drink it, even though, yeah, that's what you need to do. It literally is enemas. Look it up. Eventually, you will find it. Not necessarily coffee enema like I do. I do a lot of coffee enemas, but that's what fixed and rebooted my brain for one, because the coffee bean helps the tau of the brain, so that the telomeres, the man, where am I getting this information from? This is amazing. The neurotransmitters, which has the telomeres at the end, the tau, eventually during time, oxygenation, things like that, not oxygenation, but oxidation in the wrong way, when you don't have the proper nutrition or supplements, it kills the towels, which means what? Then the connection of the neurotransmitters trying to send to make you uh, 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 process or reflex or react no longer works. But with the coffee bean, only when it's heated and not when it's drank. When it's drank, drunk, your stomach acids kills the magic of it. So it doesn't work. It's actually almost counterproductive, really. In all reality, it's really weird. I love coffee. I love the way it tastes. I love the way it smells, but I haven't drank it in years because it's actually not good for the body, guys and gals. But when you take it through the portal vein, I know it sounds crazy, which is the anus. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but I got it from the Max Gerson therapy. And they can, I'll say it right now, even if they kick me off, oh well, it cures AIDS, it cures everything, every single cancer since 1933 and on up. And they even poisoned Dr. Max Gerson twice. The first time he was able to counter it. The second time he caught it too late, and he was poisoned by arsenic both of the times, because they didn't want him to share this information that is very inexpensive and is made, and not the main staple of the Max Gerson therapy is coffee enemas and all organic food. Think about that. That means that it is very inexpensive to cure C-U-R-E, yourself from AIDS, from, yes, I said AIDS, from any type of cancers, all kinds of things. And this is why it's illegal here in America, the Max Gerson therapy. But if you look it up, you're gonna be like, wait a minute, this is real? What the? This is real? And this German doctor made these studies from early 1900s. I started to release it around a little bit before 1933 or so. But anyways, um, uh, uh, if you take the coffee bean through the portal vein, it helps the brain immensely. Not only that, it kills the bad bacteria and it feeds the good bacteria and it kills parasites in your microbiome. So as above, so below. Now that your stomach is nice and clean, your microbiome is nice and clean, that's the first processing that allows the magical processing, which is in the brain, not necessarily in the brain, but without the brain, we cannot process the all is mind, the universe is mental. So, back to, oh, real quick. And then the last one, here's the one where no one really knows. The last one, people will say, what? Oh, it's fire. No, it's not fire. That is an element, but that's not what we're referring to. We're not referring to that type of alchemy just yet. We're talking about internal alchemy in the physical divine body, the divine temple, the divine vessel, okay, the one that the Shushumna. It's the fifth one is ether. Believe it or not, ether, the Essenes, way before Jesus of Nazareth. They were spreading this knowledge that the ether is the fifth element that we need to supplement, if you may. So how can we put that into practical terms? Well, think about this: emotion, where you're I was going to say processing, but where you're thinking, where your attention goes, that's where your energy flows. So watch what you think for. Yeah, that was kind of weird, but it makes sense. Watch what you think for, because thinking thoughts is actually a sense. It's the sixth sense, according to Nikola Tesla, Marcus Aurelius, many people. And I believe it. It is a sense because it is a faculty that helps you calculate the external stimuli, so that you can survive. So, what was I thinking? Ether. Yeah. So, in the mind, thinking, not in the mind, thinking in the brain, literally. What do we have? When we think of something over and over and over and we visualize it, visualization is not a physical thing. You're just visualizing it. But when you visualize it over and over and over into your world, into your mind, into the God inside your brain, it's going to think it's reality, because the subconscious mind does not understand the difference between past, present, or future, lie, fantasy, or truth. All it picks up is metaphors, colors, numbers, just simple things. Okay, so where was I on that one? Oh yeah. So the brain, once the subconscious believes it, now unconsciously the brain starts to do what? Activate mirror neurons, because your brain is thinking that it is real, because the subconscious is absorbing it unconsciously. Your brain is now thinking, since you're consciously always presenting exposing yourself to this thing, so that your subconscious keeps eating it up. The brain starts to activate mirror neurons. Please look that up. Mirror neurons, they're so powerful. This is why visualization is so powerful. Once the mirror neurons kick in, now your brain starts to release the neurotoxins, neurotransmitters, all these things that the body needs to alchemize, okay, through the ether, to attract all these things that your heart and mind, and technically microbiome, intention, in other words, emotions, feelings, hold at one time. So be careful what you wish for, what's running through your head at all times. So water, air, light, earth, and ether. Imagine that. This was being spread way before Jesus of Nazareth, which is what, at least 2,000 years, right? Oh, and here we go. Goodness, I want to read the comments, but I don't want to lose on this transmission that is occurring. So yesterday when I did the worldwide meditation, I mentioned about, was it today? Goodness, maybe it was today. What the? This is weird. Time dilation. No more time. No more linear. So, anyways, I mentioned about me finding the information about the Orthodox Christians from Ethiopia not believing, knowing, because they have it in their records, that Jesus of Nazareth was technically born on September 11th. That they have an actual physical date. Me, growing up, when I was reading the Bible and I was at church and this and that, once my mom gave me the option when I was 12 to either keep going or not, I stopped. Not completely, I would still go, but I wouldn't go every single time. But I would definitely not let go of the Bible, and I would read it and read it and read it. And to me, it never made sense that Jesus of Nazareth was born on December the 25th. For some reason, something was telling me he was born somewhere between my brother's birthday, and this is me growing up as a teenager, as almost as a kid actually, because I was getting already by the time I was around 11 or 12, that Jesus of Nazareth had been born between my brother's birthday, which is September 13th, or my mother's birthday. I don't want to say rest in peace because to me she's not gone, but she transitioned out of the physical on January 20th of this year. But her birthday is September 5th. And lo and behold, for years I was like, it has to be somewhere in between those two dates. And then just what was it earlier this year is when I found out when I communed with God because I lost my mom, and all of a sudden in a physical way through a freaking suggestion on YouTube, I found this video that stated that the Ethiopians believe that Jesus of Nazareth was born on September 11th. Now, think about this. Forget about Jesus, forget about these numbers, forget about weeks and zodiac and all that. Let's just be kind of technical. Let's go to not an immature brain, but a child brain. Okay, a child is not immature. Okay, an adult is immature if they have been grown up and they haven't taken responsibility. But anyways, so what if time as we know it, or the calendars and all this? We're not talking about Gregorian calendar and all that, which is a farce as well. What if time as we know it, as humans know it, was started when the one was born, or when the one came to consciousness, right? So, but if we correlate that to the physical body, child, do you guys see where I'm going with this? September, and technically September is not the ninth month because October is technically the eighth month, but we'll forget about that. This is why I said forget about that, the known world. But it takes 9 months, sometimes a tiny bit over. Hopefully it's not under, but anyways, but it's 9/11, September 11th. It makes perfect sense. So let me get to the comments now that I sound crazy, crazy, crazy. Excellent advice, Raven. So let's see. Consider that for a physical human to have a woman that's vessel must have, yes, beautiful. Consider that for uh, physical humans to have a woman that came out of. Hopefully, you guys can hear me because I noticed that the video was actually it stumbled. But anyways, what was I? Yeah, it came. The woman supposedly came out of the rib, so that makes sense right there. Uh, to maintain good health, men should balance both sides and help inspire our fellow sisters and brothers. Yes, thank you, Andrew, for pointing that out, Mr. Raven. Androgen, we're the original physical form. Yes, androgynous, exactly. Both men and women, both physical and feminine and masculine. And when you make those two into one, meaning within yourself, meaning men crown your queen within yourself, women crown your king within yourself. Where there are two or three or more gather in my name, there I am. Where was I? The original physical representation. So androgynous, yes. So that's when you make those two into one. That's when you have immaculate conception, because that's when the inner child can come out properly, because now it has security. So that's the one way to look at it as. Okay, but we can look at it as the way the church tells us if you want. Nothing against churches, especially in our religion. We need religion because religion binds, it brings together. It really does, because that's the oneness, the original oneness. So back to the androgynous that Mr. Raven was referring to, neither and both. Yes, back to the Kabbalion. There is no love, there is no hate. It's the same energy. There is no light, there is no darkness. It's the same energy. It's just perception. There is no cold, there is no hot. even though we do feel cold or hot. But what's cold to me may not be cold to Mr. Raven. For XYZ reasons. Again, there is no west or no east. It's just an interpretation, because if we travel east all the way, when the hell does it turn to west? It never will, unless you perceive it. Unless you turn around, maybe. Who knows? You see what I'm saying? If you go the opposite way, then it's always west. Who knows? But you see what I'm saying? As above, so below. As inside, so outside. Let go of duality. So let's see. That's exactly what Sol was saying earlier. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Thank you, Mark, for pointing that out. And thank you, Mr. Raven, for pointing what I just read. And here we go more with Mr. Raven. Blind, true, monk. You'd never touch him. Yes. Damn, this is deep. Just in those. Wow. That's a lot of information. Wow. And that's not improper grammar either. That's a some people will say that's improper grammar, and no, that's your interpretation. But I'm getting so much just from this one, Mr. Raven. Thank you. Blind, true, monk. You'd never touch him. It's perception, much more powerful than physical senses. Trained blind weekly for you. Yes, me. Thank you for bringing this up. You see better with your eyes covered. Yes, technically, in a weird way, we do. For instance, don't be afraid to walk out in the dark. Like when you go camping next time, don't take a flashlight. Okay, have faith. Take your time. Go slow. Fall into your breath and let that take over. And then within less than 15 minutes, and actually it'll be a lot quicker than that, your eyes will start to adjust. And guess what? You won't have night vision, but you'll be able to see everything in a weird way. Um, so and to add to that, Mr. Raven, my favorite philosopher warrior, scholar warrior, Miyamoto Musashi, Morihayu Yoshiba is second. Morihayu Yoshiba is the founder of Aikido, but Miyamoto Musashi was a undefeated samurai swordsman who went against the bad Ronin, who went against the bad samurai that would pick on society, and he was witness to kill 230. Well, not to kill, because he wasn't about killing. He just was about defending, and he had to kill 230 different samurais, not at once, but in different battles that people actually witnessed. There was way more than that, but only 230 of them or so were witnessed by others. But he got all his self-defense, all his glory and everything from what? From nature. And he wrote the Book of Five Rings. Gorinocho is the way you say it in Japan, but it's the Book of Five Rings. Five rings. There's that number again. And where we're going? Oh, and then what is rings? Circles. Goodness, Mr. Raven, there's some parts that you missed on what I was saying about the circle, but there's nothing I need to tell you. You understand. It's weird how you're a parallel of me, and you help me understand way beyond, obviously, my young little brain, considering you. I'm not saying you're old, but you see what I'm saying? But anyways, Miyamoto Musashi states, and he got all his information from what? From nature, from witnessing and observing birds and nature and all these things, right? He states, vision is weak, perception is strong, which is very true. If you stare at one thing, you're going to miss the heavenly glory behind it, above it, everywhere. But if you use your periphery, you still see everything, even yourself, even your extremities, even your eyelashes, everything. Everything is there. You are one with everything when you perceive instead of see only. And this is why perception is projection. So perception is what you will see, literally, technically. So thank you for that, Mr. Raven. Yes, Raven, we were talking about this. Yeah, see, exactly, Mark. Thank you for, yeah, I'm playing catch up. There it is. There it is. Look at that. We're all one. Goodness. All right, so let's see. Instantly, that's why you better be ready. Yes, and at peace with yourself, especially after December 21st. Once December 22nd comes, if you still have the old world in your heart and your mind, you're going to live an awful hell until you physically die very, very shortly after December 12th. because your body won't be able to take it, your mind won't be able to take it. What I mean by this is we're shifting, whether you like it or understand it or believe it or not. We're shifting, all of us, even the dark ones, because there is no dark, there is no light, there is no bad, there is no good, only interpretation. And in the fifth world, we, in other words, fifth dimensionality, fifth dimensional perceptionality, everything gets manifested quite literally almost instantly. So if you still processing through the old brain, through the old mentality, through the old piece of shit self, sorry to put it that way, but if you, because it was programmed very bad, you need to let go of that. But if you're still processing through that, well, guess what? That hell that you will live in after December 22nd, it's gonna make you go insane. I'm letting you know right now. And again, some of you might, once December 22nd, whether you believe it or not, it passes. Some of you might not experience it and be like, what the fuck, Jesus? You said that this was going to happen and that and this. Well, it's because in your world, it is what it is. You're already living it. And since you're perceiving from the old world, you're not going to see what I'm promising you. It's not even what I'm promising you. I'm just relaying. I'm just disseminating what has been promised by all the greats. So let's see. Instantly, that's be ready. Yeah, peace or so. Why we been giving up so much? Yes, and this last time again, because we give up everything, especially now. We are the last ones that will be first. Because the other ones that are not giving up anything, they're not last. They just not. They're not even. They're. I can't. I don't want to say it, but I had to say they're nothing. Especially when we cross over, because I'm telling you that you won't be able to perceive the energies properly. You're gonna continue in your own dimension, not dimension, but your own parallel, and you will decay. I'm sorry to put it that way. It's odd as it may sound. I can't really put it in any other words, but I have to find other words before December 21st, which is 9 days away, technically 8, but closing of the 21st, meaning the 22nd, is 9 days out, and that's when everything's done. We perceive beyond, in a sense, look at what dreams may come. It won't be exactly like that, but what dreams may come with Robin Williams, it's a perfect representation of what the fifth dimensionality truly is. And again, the Kabbalion will help you understand that, because it's not that you're going to all of a sudden want to have an ice cream and the ice cream is in your hand. No. You're going to want to have an ice cream. You're going to wish it so bad, and you're going to keep walking, and then in the billboard, you see the ice cream. So you got the ice cream, but you might not be able to eat it just yet. But then later, 10 minutes later, you might get a call from your wife, or from your from your wife, saying that your children want ice cream, and then you're gonna have ice cream. It's weird how it works, but it does work that way. Technical, and most people don't have the patience right now to be technical. Sometimes technicalities is only subjectiveness, and most people can't stand subjective. They have to have proof, objectivism. It's weird, but anyways, so let's get back to this, getting rid of all the BS so we don't get stuck with it. Yes, exactly. And ascension, ascension is not a thing that you work in your life and then all of a sudden you reach it at one point and then poof, you're gone from everyone's reality. No, ascension is a process that the physical body goes through at all times. So you can get really, really high vibration, and then something might happen to where, like, for instance, your mother dies and you can't let it go. You can't accept it. Well, guess what? Your vibration is going to lower. Thankfully, with me, I've been through a lot of death. And when my mother finally transitioned physically, she wasn't supposed to, because she was fully healthy. And we all know what's going on in our reality. Those of you who are awakened, we know what happened, but I accepted it. Because it was out of my control. By the time I got to her, it was already too late. I could see it. I can feel it. It was already being told by her cells, cells, to me, because we're all one. And I'm able to connect like that, especially with my mother. And this is why I don't say rest in peace, Mom, right now when I mention her, because she's not gone. But anyways, I just can't physically see her. But what was I saying with that? Where did it go? Let me read. What was it? Whoa, moved already. Get stuck with them. Yeah. So the perception. So ascension. Thank you for that. telepathic communication right there. So ascension. Once we always ascend and we retract back down with our low vibration, but we can come back up at any point. So once we reach heaven, that's meaning heaven is inside, like Jesus of Nazareth stated. Where there are two or three or there or four or more within my name, there I am amongst them. Meaning, like you said, heaven is within. Haven't you seen all the depictions of Jesus of Nazareth? No matter where in the world you may be, what country you may be, eventually you will find a depiction of Jesus where he's technically pointing at his heart, right? I'm sure a lot of you have recalled that, even if you don't believe in him or don't believe in religion or whatever. But the point is, I'm sure you've seen that. It's just stuck in consciousness. But if you see where the heart is always located, okay, no matter what, it's what? Consciousness, in the sense that no matter what artist is drawing it, somehow, some way, they know that that heart, the one that has the thorns, meaning the one that's suffering, the sacred heart, they always put it where? Dead center. It's not anatomically, anatomically correct, because the heart is technically a slight bit left, okay, of center. But they always put it dead center, which is not a physical heart that Jesus of Nazareth or the artists are inspired to draw or paint. What he's referring to, meaning the painting, meaning being Jesus of Nazareth, he's pointing to the sacred heart, which is what? The Merkaba, which is dead center of our core, to our body. So keep that in mind. Where was I? So Dolores was amazing woman. Yes, I eat 4 to 6 cups of rice with veggies, beans each day, soups and same amount. Yep, no meat. Exactly, no meat. But occasionally eggs. Yeah, exactly. That's why, Mr. Raven, I cannot be a vegetarian. I'm sorry, vegetarians, but get off of my face because you're a disgrace. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just being funny. But I'm saying that in a funny way, in a sarcastic way. We must laugh at the face of our helplessness or go insane. Humor heightens our senses and survivability. But I'm saying it that way because I cannot be a vegetarian because I love cheese and I must have eggs every now and then. And I'm sorry, but I love sushi, so I have to have fish. So I cannot be a vegetarian. So thank you, Mr. Raven, for pointing that out. But occasionally, egg cheese average 12 to 14 miles a night at work plus chores. Wow, yeah, I guess from roaming around and having to do the walks, I would assume you had to do 12 to 14 miles. Wowzers. Okay. And then, Mark, that's the diet we will be on soon. I have so much of that. Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean by that, in case others are not picking up on that. Because, look, famines are going to hit. It is inevitable. It happens in cycles and it's being hidden from us. But if you don't even have to look hard anymore and you will find it, because the light is on our side and it's not allowing the algorithms to hide this any longer. And not only that, but a lot of us already shifted, and some of the YouTube algorithms is actually, I don't know, but for the most part, some of the YouTube algorithms are working on my favor. Maybe it's good that you guys are not seeing me because I look fucking mean. As you can see, I just use a bad word right there. But I look really mean sometimes because I got these crazy, wicked looking eyebrows. And no, I don't pluck them. They're natural. Not only that, but I look like a warrior. I have high cheekbones, so I look mean. Even though I'm not. My jawline is squared out. My chin is, all butt chin. You know what I'm saying? The butt chin looking thing. Muscular butt chin. I'm not being arrogant. It's just, it is what it is. But anyways, that's what I'm saying. The YouTube algorithm actually helped me because it's good that you guys can't see my face. And the actual image that's on there, look at that. You still can't see my face. Goodness, I love these algorithms that are working. This is why, to some of you, I put, this is my last live feed. Because it's the last live feed that I'm going to be fucked with, okay? I dare to say it that way. Because you in here are going to help me as well, because we are one. We don't need this anymore in this new reality where we're always being censored and things like that. So, yes, Mark, that's the diet we're going to be eating for the most part because it's easy food and it does allow us to keep going. And that's going to be the easiest to grow, the easiest to come by, no matter what happens. But hey, there's a lot of famine that's about to hit everywhere. The American dream is over, guys. You have to accept that. You have to let it go. And if you're an American, make a dream. And now you have, make a dream a reality, I should say. And now you have an American dream. If you're someone from India and you live in here and you still like the American dream, hey, make an Indian dream here in America and you have the American dream, because we're being technical. You see what I'm saying? So, anyways, and not only that, in the fifth world, there will be no America because there's no India or America. There's no differentiation. We're all one. So, anyways, where we're going, I don't eat except between, yeah, I don't eat much either. I've only slept 1 hour and I've eaten, goodness, 1.5 times in the past 53 hours or so, probably even longer. And yet I'm here. If you would see me, you would be like, wow, there's no way that you're lying to us. There's no way you could look the way you look right now, meaning so energetic and exuberant and luminescent and stuff like that. Hey, it's because the all is mind, the universe is mental. It's all in the mind. So let's see. Drink teas. Yes, that's one thing. I was supposed to have my tea right now, but hell was happening for some reason. And I couldn't be ready properly, and when we started, and it made me get started really late because I was going all over the places trying to make the visuals to come up, but they couldn't. But oh well, we're here and we're interacting, and it's all good. At least five of us. There's been a constant five. At least five of us are gonna be kings and queens of the fifth world. It doesn't mean that there's only one king of the fifth world. No, king of the moment, queen of the moment. Especially if you're a woman, feminine, and you crown your king inside of you, meaning your masculine side. Also, vice versa. Men, if you find a way to queen yourself, to crown your queen within, meaning your feminine side, trust me, you'll be king of the moment. You'll be manifesting abundance left and right, while others may be struggling to get what they eat. You won't be. You'll be guided to the right places to where these struggles don't occur. Especially if you're not calculating and processing with the old brain, with the old self, that is technically fourth density. We were told we were third, but we're not. Animals are third. We're fourth density, but some of us who have been awakened for more than 15, 20 years, we're actually going into fifth density. And no, once we get to fifth density, we don't poof and be gone. No, all dimensions, all dense. Thought I heard something crazy going on outside. All dimensions are here and now. We just, with our vibrations, is how we can perceive the differentiation of them. So that's the diet. Yep. I don't eat. Yep. There we go. Let's see. Yes, you attract what you think about the most because you are invoking that vibration. Yes. Thank you, Mark, for bringing back the universal laws that is written in the Kabbalion, which is technically an abbreviation of the Emerald Tablets. And some people right now are being misguided, saying that the Emerald Tablets are misconstrued and this and that. Well, interpretation. What I got from the Emerald Tablets is nothing but empowerment, and it showed me both the dark and the light. And guess what? Without both, you cannot be divine. It's that simple. So let's get back to the Ouroboros. Let's see, vibration. So what you think about 7-day mental diet? Nice one right there. Manifestation, picturing, shooting. Yes, and making free throws. Exactly. Improve more than physical going in. Bulls. So to elaborate on what Mr. Raymond was saying right there about the visualization, the studies that have been made by many countries, many universities throughout nearly the entire century, and they always came out exactly the same, that they separated a basketball team of the university, right, to three different teams, not teams, but groups. One was told to go home, don't do nothing, just enjoy this month of a break. The second team was told to visualize only, that they're throwing free throws. You can do whatever you want. You can meditate. You can do it while you're laying down. You can do it while you're watching TV, whatever. But try to visualize yourself throwing free throws an hour a day or something like that. And then the last group was told to do it physically, an hour a day, every day, do it. At the end of the study, they found out that obviously the ones that were told to go home and do nothing got worse. They didn't get any better at all, obviously, with their free throws. The ones that were physically throwing it obviously progressed. They got better. But get this. The ones that were sitting on their asses, visualizing only, They might have been laying down, visualizing only. Let me rephrase one thing. The ones that were doing it physically, they got better by 25% than when they started. So that's how much they improved. 25%. The ones that only visualized it, they got better by 24% on an average of all the studies that were made throughout the fucking century. So that goes to show you how important mirror neurons are. Visualization, neuroplasticity, making new connections, even if you're just visualizing them. Because if you're visualizing them, the mirror neurons kick in, which means what? Then your body, even though your legs are not moving, and you're practicing a kick like Bruce Lee says, I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times opposed to the man that has practiced 10,000 kicks one time. Why? Because that 10,000 kicker guy is not a master of any of them. So with the visualization, the mirror neurons kick in, even though your legs are not moving, somehow, some way, the neurotransmitters are still reaching that leg, and your brain is still training. Not only that, if you're physically doing it, kicking a ball like a soccer player for who knows 3,000 times, right, in a matter of an hour, because you're just lost in doing what you love doing, dribbling that soccer ball, hitting it with your head, with your knee, with your kick, stuff like that. Once you go to sleep, it is a proven fact. Once you go to sleep, your brain still activates and is still doing the same thing that you repetitively did as you were in your awakened state. So therefore, you can actually train still. Like I was saying about the mirror neurons, when you're asleep, your mirror neurons still activate. And you're even though your legs are not moving, you're still training your muscles in a weird way, even though they're not truly fully activating. That's how important visualization is. It's magnificent how powerful we truly are. So see, Mr. Raven used points. I use percentages. Bulls, balls. Yeah, he still used to use percentages as well. Yes, Raven, I seen that. Jordan used to close his eyes. Yeah, exactly. Jordan, exactly. Can't believe you said that. I was telling my daughter this. Yeah, she plays ball. I have her. So see, that goes again. Nothing is coincidence. Synchronicity. We're all one, getting the same exact download. The same exact lessons are coming out at the same time, just in different forms. Things like that. Can't believe you just said that buffering. Yeah, that's better. They must not have liked that the buffering started. Love and hate is the same thing, just a different degree of the same thing. Exactly. My birthday. Oh, happy early birthday, Mark, which is December 20th. Holy moly! I wonder what's gonna happen to your cells. Not just your body, but your cells. Because you've been dealing with this birthday. That's what, right before the winter solstice, right? And I'm sure by the age of at least 13, you fully understood that concept of the winter solstice. So, with that in mind, that you had in mind, you always mind the universe is mental. I'm sure that influenced you unconsciously, whether you knew it or not, energetically, emotionally, and spiritually. So, something's gonna happen to you more than the usual, and especially since you've been really into the Kabbalion lately, and you fully have integrated it ridiculously fast. You're one of the fastest I've known that has integrated it so quickly. I don't think you've gotten into it before, but you've only been doing it for what? I think it's like been 5 weeks, if that, and you're already nearly at my level of understanding of it. And I've been studying that for over 15 years. Uh, Almost once a month at least, I just let it play, and I'm just doing counter multitasking, and I'm just letting the subconscious absorb it. But I did consciously absorb it, obviously subconsciously as well, for several years in the beginning, because I was like, "What the? Really? Is this easy? Like what the?" So, anyways, I did it. I did walk about when late wife crossed. Oh, okay, I did walk. So this Mr. Raven, I did walk about when late wife crossed. Said I'll go where need to. where need to, but need neon sign. Yeah, technically, yeah. Um, yeah, man, I'm not getting emotional, but that's very touching, very poetic. Wow, thank you for that. Found shiny quarter on the ground, was one every crossroads from Maine to Florida. Wow, to Cali and Washington. Interesting. So yeah, that goes to show you nothing is coincidence, synchronicity. I'm sure you knew your wife's essence, because we never die, was guiding you. Still was letting you know, hey, I'm here. Oh, that's wow. That's nice. I'm being touched, but I'm not being emotional. Great. This is very necessary in the fifth world. Cool. So, like I was saying, we have 9 days, a little under 9 days now, to what? To reform, if you may, the mirrors, meaning to watch, to recondition our perception, our interpretation, as I say, of the mirrors before us. And this is why I brought the Essenes and Greg Braden. Look up the seven Essene mirrors. Mark has gotten into that, and it changed his life just recently, and it's that easy to understand. Um, Especially if you've been through a lot. Especially if you're a parent. If you're a parent, you've been through a lot. You'll fully understand the 70 scene mirrors, and you're gonna be like, "Whoa, what? All this time, it was my fault." Or in other words, I was responsible for it. Or in other words, it's a reflection of me. Wow! That's why if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. Vision is weak, perception is strong. As above, so below. As inside, so outside. Therefore, perception is projection. Yes, the mirror is the huge eye opener. Yeah. So let's see. Where was I? So I got done with Mr. Raven. Thank you for sharing. Goodness, I love your words, Mr. Raven. You always open up portals with your words. I love that. And honestly, that's what I intend to do when I try to speak. This is why sometimes I am aggressive with the way I speak, meaning sometimes I allow myself to say a bad word every now and then or raise my voice every now and then, not to scare the person I'm communicating with, but to use neuro linguistic programming in a proper way to influence and inspire and feed the subconscious mind, so that unconsciously they feed themselves, so that they consciously feed others. You see what I'm saying? So let me see. No other place in the world I would rather be right now than here with you guys right now in this moment. See, look at that. That's a father. That's a father saying that right now. Okay, he's not saying, "Hey, I don't love my children. I'd rather be with these freaking men here." No, he's not saying that. He's disassociating from that he has no control over, because what, they're with his wife, right? So he's like investing this time to empower and clear his perception even further, to have more clarity. And what happens? That means his children gets empowered as well. So thank you for being that cold-blooded, if you want to call it that, for being that unconditionally loving and stating that, affirming that there's no other place I'd rather be than right here with you guys right now. That's freaking beautiful, Mark. Thank you for saying that. And I understand you're not trying to say, "Oh, I don't love my children." No, of course not. And it's sad that a lot of people have taken me that way when I tell them, "Look, you have to let go of your children right now for this moment." And they're like, "What do you mean?" And then like they get discouraged, and then they don't want to talk to me anymore because they think I am cold blooded. They think I am an evil person or whatever, because I told them to let go of their children, let go of that of the fear you have of your husband cheating, if you're a woman, or vice versa. So anyways, thank you guys for understanding this. Good. I'm glad I'm surrounded right now by such mature souls. Goodness. That still allow their, and it's mainly men right now interacting, but they still allow their inner child to come out, for one, and they're fully connected to their feminine side. And in fact, most of them have long hair, just like mine. Or have had long hair. But anyway, so let's see. Time for a new dream. Yes. Yes, the mirror is a huge eye opener. Yes. A lot. I have been thought through it a lot. Yep. As a parent. Except, oh, yeah. Goodness. Goodness. Yeah. Andrew, you need to write a book. Okay. I'm sure you already have many notes. But men listening right now, when you hear his story, you're going to be like, wait, wait, wait. Wait, what? I mean, yeah, I've been through a lot. I'm a parent too. Whoever's a parent here, most of you are. I'm a parent too, and I've been through a lot as a parent. But wait a minute, and you're younger than us, and wait a minute, you are going through this, and all of it has to do with all feminine. Like, wait, what? It's amazing the story he's going through. Yes, the mirrors. Yes, yep. The energy changes. So here's Mr. Raven, Mr. Raven Keeper. The energy changes will be extremes. Yes, they will. Grounding through conjunction with help will help. Yes, yes. Grounding. So yes, barefooted and all. Grounding through the conjunction that's about to happen. Yes, will help, because then you're one with Earth, with Mother Gaia. Eden 2. Eden dos muchos of Eden, dos muchos of heaven. Yes, so nice, so nice. Okay, so here we go. Where was I? The energy says, okay, grounding through the conjunction. Yes, I'll I'll start 14th, getting everyone here barefoot. Yes, thank you for pointing that out. So Mr. Raven, starting from the 14th, he's going to make sure for a fact, without fail, every single day, as much as possible, as long as they're not walking on glass or they're not walking at the grocery store or whatever, he's going to make his family, everyone here, to get barefooted and on the ground as much as possible, all the way up through the 28th. Yes, perfect, exactly. If we get there, we won't pass. If we pass, we won't get there. And by doing that, several people already mentioned, by grounding through the conjunction, it doesn't matter if we pass or if we get there, meaning to what we think or what we've been promised. No, as long as you're grounded and you're in the moment at all times and you understand the universal laws, you will be king in the moment or queen of the moment, and that's all that's going to matter, because we're not going to be able to pass to what we think we're going to, because it's unfathomable, or we're going to. But if we have no fear, what we will make the reality that we're going to face. And I know at least the three that are interacting right now, goodness, if we were in one place, meaning a one piece of land, oh my God, I know we would be in heaven. I know we would be in heaven. So I know that I will have a heaven, what I call a home, HOME, heaven on Mother Earth. I know Mr. Andrew will have heaven on Mother Earth. I know Mark would have heaven on Mother Earth. And I know Mr. Raven will have Mr. Raven will have a heaven on Mother Earth. That will mark the heaven on Mother Earth, the home, as Mark keeps saying. Yes, Raven, wait, did I finish? Yeah, I did finish Mr. Raven's. Yes, Raven, I've been meditating barefoot, not a lot recently, yes. I'd rather be here with you all too, with my daughter. Yeah, Artemis, that's Mr. Andrew's daughter. Her name, look at that name. Are you kidding me? And I was supposed to have, I'm sorry, brother, I was supposed to have this illuminated fake moon that I bought. Wow, I'm not getting emotional. Great. That I bought specifically. Wow, I'm not getting emotional. Goodness, I wish you guys were seeing this. I'm feeling it. I'm supposed to be getting emotional with the old self, but I'm not. This is amazing. So I bought a fake moon that illuminates and it changes colors and things like that when I went to go visit my mom, when I first got the call that she was in the hospital back in December 22nd of last year. So I spent Christmas with her. I took a nice, beautiful little Christmas tree because she would celebrate that. So I wanted to bring that to her in the hospital, and I bought that moon for her so that we could put it there so she can see the moon because she couldn't get out. Wow. I should be getting emotional and I'm not. This is beautiful. I'm still feeling the feeling like I should be, but I'm not. Great. So anyways, I was supposed to have that right now, Andrew, in honor of Artemis. So like I was saying, Andrew's daughter is Artemis. Artemis. You guys know what I'm saying. I'm Yaqui Indian, so from Mexican descent. So please don't mind my accent. Anyhow, Where was I? I rather hear it with you. Long, blonde, and beautiful hair. Yep, and this is a man. Okay, so my kids are running around me looking one earbud in with y'all, and the other is, yep, there you go. So see, multitasking. Beautiful. Middle of my back, salt and pepper. Mr. Raven, goodness, dude, I love you. Mature men, and I can say that with conviction. Yes, have considered a book. Thank you for doing that. We may all seen that was a Raven that Mr. Raven that said about the funny middle of my back, salt and pepper. Um, and Andrew is talking about the considering the book. Uh, so it is. You're not considering it. You have to. So it's a reality. It's just not here right now, but it's gonna be. We may all soon be in one place together soon. Yeah, technically, we all may be forced in a sense, like in a sense, guided, meaning kicked out of certain areas because certain things are happening, and then we might just end up in the same reality, in the same parallel, in the same environment, if you may. Um, we may also be in one place together soon. Artemis has an affinity for the moon. Goodness. And see, and that's a child. She's only like 3.5, I think. Actually, I think less. But even her, she has an affinity for the moon naturally, and her name is Artemis. Beautiful. So back to the Ouroboros now. I caught up to the with the comments. Um, Anything else to add? So basically, just wanted to add the cycles. Look up the great year. Okay, it takes nearly 26,000 years for us to make a complete circle around our central sun, which is Alcyon. But again, our solar system is moving the same way we're moving around Alcyon. Okay, so what I'm trying to get at is what is making us move around Alcyon, because our planets do not move around the sun because of the sun. Our sun keeps us orbiting around it, but something is propelling us to spin around, to orbit around the sun as we move around the galaxy and the universe as well. So I don't. I can't say. Yeah, I could say I don't believe in Planet X. I don't believe in Planet X. What's the other one? It's right there. It's in the tip of my tongue. I just can't say it. Yeah, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Um, I don't believe in it because I don't have enough proof. I don't know it, but the weird thing about it is I have enough physical evidence from footage, from videos, from pictures, from my reality, from my skies that shows that there is a binary here somewhere near us. And soon, eventually, we're going to, well, yeah, we will see it. But I'm saying because we will see it, that magnetism that is happening right now, this is why the Maya couldn't see beyond 2012, which is technically now, is right now it's not 2020. Okay, if you take off the Gregorian calendar, this is, oh, Mr. Raven, can you, yeah, Nibiru, exactly. Hercules, yeah, that's, yeah, exactly, that's the second name. I think it was you, Mr. Raven, that pointed out that if we eliminate the Gregorian calendar, certain cultures have it that New Year's comes about, what is it, March 23rd or 25th of next year? New Year's of 2012, not 2020. Not only that, but the Ethiopians on September 11th, which they know, it's not that they consider, is that they know that's Jesus, according to them, that's Jesus, and I believe it. I don't fully know it, but I'm starting to know it now. Um, the Ethiopians know that September 11th, which was Jesus of Nazareth's birthday, according to them, that's the New Year of 2012. So, according to these two different things, if we eliminate the Gregorian calendar, which is a falsity, okay, someone might be able to use that to their benefit, but it's BS. It's still, we're several months apart from technically many cultures considering this year 2012. Yeah, see, Mr. Raven, we are in 2012 now, March 5th. There you go. So see, I was a little bit off. I was saying what, March 23rd, but 2 and 3 equals 5. And then the other one I said March 25th, March 3, 20, Quetzalcoatl, that's 2, so 5. So, anyways, numerology, amazing. Next year, March 5th, that's there we go. That was the word. Enochian, yes. Is that how you say it with the sh sound or k sound? Enochian or Enochian? Enochian date, lunar sequence. So I can't wait to others see this, and hopefully they see those comments as well, and they can at least be inspired by the 18th, the latest, to look into these things, because we need to start SOL solidifying our actual soul's desire. Well, no, because our soul is our soul, it already has its desire, but our physical self, our physical brain, is the one that needs to be reconditioned in the next 9 days to disassociate and let go of the old world. That doesn't mean leave your home and your children and disown them. No, just know that they chose their karma, you chose yours. So when you transition over after the 21st, their karma is going to be there with you, lovely, nicely, because they chose it anyways. But if you're fucking worried about them, you're worried about your children and fearful and hoping to get ready for this and this and hoping to go to the proper cave at a certain date and this and that. Well, guess what? You're taking that to the fifth world, and that's what you're going to experience. And you're going to be like, Mr. Jesus, Netzaya, what you said is not happening. What the fuck? I'm experiencing hell. It's because you fucking kept it. Sorry to say, please be so blunt. Okay, K, Enochian, yeah, Enochian. So the Enochian calendar. So I hope I didn't insult anybody by using those bad words at the end. And we still have the 5 watching, so I guess I didn't. So that's cool. Thank you, the other 2 that haven't really interacted, but you're much appreciated because I can feel your energies. You're literally hungry for this, even though you already knew some of this. You might not have been aware of certain technicalities and details, but please, do you see these 3 men speaking right now, interacting in an insane amount? And I dare to say that word because insanity is actually beauty. Who is it? I almost had it. It's not Gautier. Maybe I'll say it at the end, but I almost had it. There is love and madness. How does it go? Let me check real quick because this is very important to say this one. Hold on. Okay, by Nietzsche. Nietzsche stated, there is always some madness in love. This is coming from Nietzsche. There is always some madness in love, but there is also always some reason in madness. Okay? So this is why I use the word insane amount of the word that way. But anyway, so I guess we've reached our completion. We try to start at 4:32 p.m. because 4 plus 3 equals 7, and then plus 2 equals 9, which is the number of completion, which is also the fetus position. I mean, look at how it looks. It looks almost like it's in the fetus position, the number 9 or the number 6. If you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And if you want to have the keys to the universe, think in terms know the numbers 3, 6, 9, like Nikola Tesla said. It's in everything. Triangulation. Use it in all things, for we are all one. Subconscious, conscious, unconscious. That's a trinity. That's 3. Masculine, feminine, inner child. That's 3. The Father, Oh goodness, why can't I think of that one from the church for some reason? Well, you guys know why, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So my youngest picked her name. In English, it means, oh, wow, goodness, man, you always open portals, Mr. Raven. My youngest picked her name. In English, it means hawk from heaven. Wow. Never thought about it, but that is an angel. Yes. To yesterday, I was talking to a Jehovah's Witness, okay, about these things, and luckily, at least in my reality, and kind of in hers too, she was an older woman, and she didn't take offense to the way I was speaking, and I was very careful with my words. I didn't speak the way I'm speaking right now. Right now, I'm speaking in transparency because I can care less if I'm insulting any of you because I'm supposed to trigger you because that's the mirror you're supposed to see. If it does, if it doesn't, great. Don't take things personal, and you won't reflect negativity back towards you because it takes one to know one. If you attract what you judge. If you're judging something, you're judging it because you know it. But anyways, here we go. Yesterday I was talking to that Jehovah's Witness, and I was speaking about. I asked her, it's like, do you mind if I give you a theory of mine? I said, no, no, go ahead. And I told her about how basically what we're talking about overall, about the awakening that's supposed to happen, and we're going to get closer to God and this and that. And she's like, yeah, yeah. And she's like, but you can tell she agreed with it, but she didn't want to show me that she agreed with it. And what was it? Why did I bring that up? Oh, yeah. And as soon as I said that, and she said, yeah. And I said, like, whoa, a literal hawk almost crashed into my window, and I had my window closed because I was looking outside as I was speaking to her because I was looking for inspiration to say the right words so that I don't offend her. Because it was nothing against Jehovah's Witness, it was nothing against religion, nothing. I agree with religion. I have 3 Bibles, physical Bibles in my possession, and I read it all the time. And look at all the verses I utilize today. Okay, so anyways, the hawk, it came, and I told her, it's like, oh, look what just happened. And I told her what happened. I was like, there was a hawk that just came just right now. And she kind of giggled, and I said, to me, that's not a coincidence, that's a synchronicity. That's God speaking to me, letting me know that I did good to mention this to you. And she kind of chuckled and was like, no, I understand what you mean. And yeah, and she kind of rephrased it in her Jehovah's Witness way. So thank you, Mr. Raven, for bringing up that new confirmation for me, that in the fifth world, just like 5 people have been watching the entire time. This is so synchronistic. I did mention the Book of 5 Rings. So again, back to crowning yourself. What is a crown overall when you look at it from above? It's a circle, it's a halo. What are usually the crowns, the colors? Are usually gold. So we're using a golden state. So Ouroboros is a circle, is a donut, is a crown, is a sphere, is a orb. Okay, so be guided by these things from now into the 21st and beyond, because we're in the center of the photon belt that the Maya seen that we were going to enter, but they couldn't see beyond it. And this is why they stopped their calendar on December 22nd. Some say is the 21st, but I say it's the 22nd because it's the day when it ends, of 2012. And most misconstrued it that the planet was gonna be obliterated and all life is gonna die. No, the world is going to end. The world is not a planet. We're talking technicalities here. So the world as we know it will end. So that matches what the Hopi say. The Hopi say that when the Pahana comes, when the two the Shanika, Kashinas. Why did I say Shanika? Wow, Shanaka. That's an actual word, right? Hebrew, I think. Wow. Anyways, when the two Kashinas, the blue and the red being the purifier, the blue being the regenerative one. I forgot what the blue. Why did I forget that? Anyways, when they dance together in the plaza, that's when the Pahana comes. What does the Pahana look like according to the Hopi? Is this white being that has wings that looks almost like a white owl, if anything. Cycle of changes, transformation. The world was never meant to be. Yeah, it was never meant to be this way. Exactly, and it won't be, because money is not going to exist, guys. This is what I keep saying. The American dream is over, and that's just a metaphor for saying that greed and money and wow. I don't want to insult my reality, but that's what it is. I mean, and it's not even American people. It's not even people. Period. We know. You guys know who I'm referring to, are the ones that created this weird greed, these weird limitations, these weird papers, these weird numbers that go around a circle that tells us when to eat. Are you freaking kidding me? All that needs to go. Let go of that. Peel away. Okay, peel away. Gorinocho, the Book of Five Rings was inspired by nature, okay, to help society eliminate bad physical beings, meaning the bad Ronin, the bad samurai that were taking advantage of people. Miyamoto Musashi was the one that was brave enough to have to fight and technically kill the negative dark ones so he can convert it to light. Really, it really does work that way. I'm not saying you need to go kill someone that goes against their family, but what I'm saying is be fearless. And if you have to, all I'm going to say is be fearless, especially around your family. Don't worry about them. If something like that comes around you, you still be fearless and have faith that they're going to run or defend or do something as you're taking care of business because it's their karma, not yours. And that's that. Be unconditionally loving. Si llegamos, no pasamos. Si pasamos, no llegamos. That's what a Mayan elder, a physical one, not one in my imagination, not an astral one that I met when I was astral projecting in meditation or whatever in dream world. No, a real person. Okay, elder told me this. Si llegamos, no pasamos. Si pasamos, no llegamos. If we get there, we won't pass. If we pass, we won't get there. So eliminate your old world. Forget about it. Because something new is coming, and just be king of that new world, simply meaning by being king of the moment. This is why I'm so big. Please, if you haven't gotten into it, into the Kabbalion, Kybalion, which is the doctrine of the to understand universal laws, which are inescapable. No matter where you're at, Arcturus, Orion, Pleiades, no matter where, Alcyon is still it still is honored by the ether, is the best way I can put it. Universal laws, you cannot escape them. The Kabbalion helps you to understand those. So no matter what, if you're hugging your family without fear because you see this huge wave or this fucking, sorry to use that word, but a bomb being dropped or something, and you know it's about to hit you, well, just be fearless. And before you know it, you're going to open your eyes and be like, wait a minute, I thought the bomb was supposed to blow us up. Well, it did in one parallel, but in the next parallel, because you did not have fear, what the fuck? Nothing happened. What happened, Jesus? Mr. Nazaya, well, you said this was going to happen. You said I was going to die and this and that. Well, you didn't because you're in a parallel. So right now, my mother is in a parallel. This is why I cannot say, when I mention her, I cannot say, my mother, rest in peace. No, because she's not resting in peace. She's alive in her own parallel reality in another dimension that I can actually perceive. I just can't see her physically. But she comes to me in birds and hummingbirds, butterflies, and ravens. Out of all, ravens. Look up the spirit totem of the raven, and you're going to be like, wait a minute. Why did I used to think that the raven was ugly just because it was black, dark? And last thing, this is where I'm going to close off with. Girl, what you know about Shanika? Yeah, I love you to put that one, Andrew. Um, Goodness, I forgot where I was going. Oh, yeah. And look at this. Everything is dark right now. My screen is somewhat dark. So, and I'm going to say it, Black lives don't fucking matter. Yeah, I fucking said it. Black lives don't fucking matter. Now, for you immature people watching this in the future, because the ones that are watching right now won't take offense to this. Some of us are in parallels now. Yeah, exactly. Some of us are in several parallels as we speak, one foot in one foot in the other, but still single-hearted, because the Hopi said that the two-hearted are gonna go to the wrong path. So two-hearted means you haven't made two into one. You haven't made masculine and feminine into one. That means you're thinking of the old world and trying to be in the new one. That's two-hearted. You can't. It doesn't work. So, what I was saying, Black lives do not matter. I dare to say it. So, to the future viewers, because like I said, the ones watching right now won't take offense to this. Even if there's none that are African American, but if there was an African American, you wouldn't get offended. Especially when you hear this again, being technical. You if you are an African American and forget about that. Even if you have African American friends and you got offended, your African American friend is not a black person. Your African American friend is an African American person. So when they tell us these Black Lives Matter, they're referring to the color black, to what they're referring to, not the people that were using it, because the people that are using it truly believe that they're trying to say that, yes, African Americans' life matters, and there's more than African Americans being killed by cops, guys. Come on now. But that's what we were pumped full of so that we can fight each other. But your African American friend is not black, okay? And the ones that created that stupid saying, okay, were the dark ones, because they're trying to redeem themselves, because they're trying to say Black Lives Matter. Please think of us, the dark ones. We matter as well. And yes, they technically do, because we can't be one without the other. We cannot perceive light without their darkness. And this is why you must embrace them. This is why you must not hate the Satanist if you're a Christian. So I'll send you email, and if you may want to check it out. All lives matter, division techniques as always. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you. Definitely send that to me, please. So what I'm saying is, like Mr. Raven says right there, all lives matter. Not black lives, not white lives. Because what the fuck is white life? What the fuck is a white man? Really think about it in technical terms. Because a white man, okay, to a child, a white man might be an American. But what is an American? A technical American. And I'm not referring to a Mexican born or a Mexican descent that was born here, American. No, I'm talking to what like a child would consider an American, meaning a Caucasian. See what I'm saying? It's an Irish. It can be a European. It can even be an Iranian. Iranian has light skin, and sometimes they look white. It could be a Jewish person. They look technically white, but no, let's erase those colors. There is no differentiation, especially not from black and white. Just like the Kabbalion states, there is no black and there is no white, because all colors are one anyways. Black has all colors. White technically is all colors, and it's not just seven, it's billions. It's an innumerable amount. Even subjecting animals, yes, as lesser than human is fake division. Thank you. Exactly. Yes. Goodness. Mr. Raven is definitely in the source level. And eventually I'll make a video to show this schematic that I found that makes perfect sense, meaning of how when we get to a certain level of perception, we automatically are in a certain level of frequency. Okay, after December 12, the technical ones that they were telling us, not the real one that is now, but the technical one, meaning 8 years ago, from that point on, yes, it is a device trap. Exactly. That's all it is. It's a division. What was I going to say? Duality. At that point, I lost my point. But oh well. It's no longer necessary. I'm not white. I may have Scandinavian. Exactly. Look, here we go. Technicalities. I'm not white. I may have Scandinavian genealogy and a light shade of skin, but I'm not white. Nor am I Caucasian. And technically, look at any white. I was doing quotation marks, parentheses, quotation marks, um, a white person is not necessarily doesn't look white. Uh, I mean, the color white. They're kind of a creamish brown, a creamish light brown, if you may. You see what I'm saying? But anyways, where was I? Even subjecting, yes, I'm not white. I may have Scandinavian genealogy and a light shade of skin, but I'm not white, nor am I Caucasian. Yeah, if you look up Caucasian, you'll agree as well. If you're a light complected person, um, my family does not originate from the Caucasian. Exactly. It's just like Mr. Raven. How do you feel when you? I mean, you might not get offended because of the level you're at now, but at least growing up, how do you feel? How did you feel being called Indian? You see what I'm saying? Native Americans do not come from India. That is a fucking. I'm sorry, I have to use these words. That is a fucking ignorant thing to call Native Americans Indian, because that means you're not realizing that you're calling a Native American a native from India. So please be technical, just like the four agreements states. One of them, I think, is the second or third one. Be immaculate with your word. Never take things personal. Never assume things. And I forgot the last one, but you guys know what I'm getting at. And it's four. So just like me, the 1, 2, 3, 4 flush will help you to detoxify, or at least adjust, adapt, and overcome AO, adjust, adapt, and overcome AO in at least four planes of existences: physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional, which is what we must, from this point on, next 8.5, because it's not 9 days now, it's a little bit less now. We must think in terms of energy, vibration, and frequency. You don't have to really think about the 369. It's a little bit confusing right now, but at least think about those four planes of existences. Feed them, supplement them, detoxify them, purge them, allow them to release, let them go, but consciously so. Because then, and only then, will you be clear enough to be able to, in a sense, ascend your vibration, to not be anchored to all those temporal things, just like believe it was, I think it's Buddhist. I was going to say Hindu, but it's the Buddhist. I'm pretty sure that the Mandela effect, the not the Mandela effect. What is it? The Mandela concept. They create Buddhist. Yeah, it's Buddhist. They create this beautiful, intricate, huge looking thing that almost looks uh, like a schematic of where Atlantis would be. The way they design their their dwellings and things like that is always in circles, or an Mayan calendar, right? They make this beautiful, huge, intricate, beautiful mandala. And get this, in case you didn't know how they make them, they dye sand. Okay, so that means little tiny little rocks, if you may, because that's kind of like what sand is glass, I guess. So little tiny colored dyed sand, okay, that they direct, and they make those fine lines with colored sand. And if you look closely, next time you come across a mandala, it might not be a real one, meaning in the ground, but a picture of it. Even if it's not a real mandala, if it's just a drawing, look at it, all those little intricacies. Imagine 6 to 12 monks on the ground for hours on end, every single day, for weeks on end, creating that thing that's usually about 12 feet big, or bigger, but usually it's 12 feet. It's 12 or 18. 12, 1 plus 2 is 3. 18, 1 plus 8 is 9. 3, 6, 9. They really do hold magnetism, and they will help you amplify. So anyhow, um, after they're done putting all that together, all 6 or 12 monks, they do a prayer over it for the world, not just for themselves, not just for their country, not just for their monastery. But as soon as they're done, they just sweep it away. They blow it away like nothing. They let it go. So their message is never hold any attachment to especially, well, actually to anything, because everything is temporal. Everything. And sorry to say, even the mind, because our physical body only lasts so long. But to those who had done the work and those who had trained themselves past the 21st to not look back, because woe the tide to those who look back. If you were a navigator back in the days, you would really know what that means. You look away one time and you lose your track, and you can be deviated away from the new world. Quite literally. Wow, look at that metaphor right there. So, woe the tide to those who look back. If you take that to the next world, guess what? All hell will break loose, even worse over there. So, Vedics of India and natives of South America, Hopi and Navajo do as well. Exactly. Yeah. In one shape or form, have that circle. They create something similar. They have that same understanding. Never hold any attachment to anything, because everything is temporal. If you want to acquire everything that your desires require, you have to let go of everything. You have to disassociate from everything. You have to disattach from everything, because once you let go of everything, you peel away at all your flaws, and you let go of your attachment to your beautiful classic car, to the home that you built or you bought. Doesn't mean you're gonna burn your home. Doesn't mean you gotta leave it. I'm not saying that Buddha did that, but meaning burn his home. But Buddha one day just woke up and he left his whole kingdom, and he left his wife, everything, without saying anything. And he was gone for exactly 12 years. And then he came back. And guess what? His kingdom was there. His wife was there. His wife took him. Hey, where were you? Okay, cool. Like nothing ever happened. But he came back with so much knowledge, because he let go of everything and he went into the forest, into the world, naked, meaning without anything, without any distractions. No more distractions. Not even in your children, even though they will distract you. But I'm just saying, like, don't try. I know anybody here listening, you guys don't coddle your children. I don't mean cuddle, like hold them, hug them. No, I mean coddle, meaning you do everything for them. Even, sometimes even wipe their own ass. Obviously I'm being metaphoric, but if you do that, you're enabling them, and it's gonna fall back on your ass. No pun intended. So I think that's about it, guys. You guys already would have add anything? If not, I'm about to close up. So if you want me to reverberate anything, please put that resonance and vibration in form of word, and I'll say it before I end. But I'm gonna start closing shop now. So where was I? I was saying about, oh yeah, the dark. What was it? Oh yeah, so I did finish talking about the Black Lives Matter. No, all lives matter. Okay, not just black lives. Black lives is very limited to the metaphor of it, which most everybody, especially children, and I'm not saying we're just everybody, when they think of black, they think of evil, they think of negative, they think of bad, they think of scary because it's dark, right? So it literally works that way, guys. If you keep saying that, you are welcoming in these darknesses in a bad way. Okay? So no, don't say Black Lives Matter, and please don't fucking take a knee. And look at that. My laptop is about to die. Perfect synchronistic. For that, definitely do uh, acknowledge the spirit within you. And thank you for bringing that up. Okay, here's where not even the East knows this. Okay, they forgot about it. Okay, the some of you know that the Hindu, they consider, or yeah, consider, I guess, that we have a cord that goes to source, that goes from our spine and goes up our crown and it goes up. But when we're born, it gets severed. But we have to work it back up and connect it, reconnect it by using Western terms in a sense, climbing Jacob's ladder, which is our vertebrae, our spine. What's in our spine? So the kudasis, what is it? is a staff, two snakes intertwining, going upward, and by the time their bodies can't stretch up any longer, they usually end up face to face, and they're about to touch where? Above, near close to the staff's head. And what's up the staff's head? Especially the one that is tote. It's not thoth, it's tote. That's the way you have to pronounce it properly. Near the top is what? The wings. So that's telling us that the staff, the spine, okay, with in one person having masculine and feminine, two snakes intertwining, meaning ascending, meaning rising that kundalini. But what by what? By ascending through the seven heavens, through the chakras. Once it gets to the top and they finally become even more of one, because we've been intertwining in one person, and they meet up there, they do it above the neck, above the 33, above the upper heavens, where the throat, third eye, and crown are at, the upper heavens, and that's when we take flight. We can have a bird's eye view of the perspective that we are filtering through. So, have a good one, guys. Definitely love your vibrations, love your frequencies, love your energies, and thus I love you unconditionally, because we truly are one. As you can see, we reflect it in so many ways. And sometimes I didn't have to say anything, and Mark was saying it. Sometimes I didn't have to say anything, and Andrew was saying it. Sometimes I didn't have to say anything, Mr. Raven was saying it, or it was correlated. Mr. Raven didn't know we talked about certain things because he got a very late reply, thanks to these minions or whatever. But still, he was talking about stuff that we talked for almost 30-40 minutes about, and it was on cue, on point, amazing stuff. So thank you all. Don't forget, you're only limited to creativity. Pain is temporary, pride is eternal, fulfillment lasts forever. The fight will be worth it, whether it's mental, spiritual, physical, or emotional. The universe within, YOUNI, quite literally, no pun intended. YOUNI, universe, YOUNI, VERSE, will reciprocate dearly. Please, 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 please see beyond this reality and become neutral, so that the one that's coming, once you crown yourself, you'll be king of the moment or queen of the moment, whoever's listening at the moment. May peace be with you at all times, just as Jesus of Nazareth always reflected right before he departed from anyone. And just like he stated, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Same exact meaning as, if we get there, we won't pass. If we pass, we won't get there. Si llegamos, no pasamos. Si pasamos, no llegamos. Goes back to the Ouroboros. Goes back to the 12 disciples. Go back to the 12 tribes. Go back to the 12 zodiac signs. One love, one light. For together our light will shine much brighter. Peace may be with you at all times. Thank you for joining us. Peace. Peace. And peace. Bye.